Disclaimer. This video content is AI generated as educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis or treatment. Your health concerns may be unique. Always consult your physician or a qualified healthcare provider for personalized guidance.
Okay, let's be honest. When you think diabetes management, your brain probably jumps straight to two things, right? Diet and exercise. And look, you're not wrong. But what if I told you that a huge piece of the puzzle, like a third of the whole solution, is something most of us just forget about? Yep, today we're talking about sleep.
So, you're doing all the right things. You're watching what you eat, you're staying active, but is that the whole story? It's a big question, I know, but the science is becoming impossible to ignore. It turns out those 8 hours you spend sleeping might be just as crucial as the 16 hours you spend awake.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it. For so long, sleep has been this forgotten piece of the health puzzle. We've always thought of it as just downtime, But it's not passive at all. We now know it's an incredibly active, super restorative process that is absolutely essential for our metabolic health.
And this simple idea, it completely changes the game. We're all taught about the two big pillars of diabetes care, diet and exercise. They're the foundation for sure. But think about it. A two-legged stool isn't very stable, is it? To build something that's truly solid, you have to add that third pillar, sleep. It's not a nice to have, it is non-negotiable.
All right, so how much sleep are we actually talking about here? Well, this isn't just some random number. Get this, a massive study involving 150,000 people, yeah, you heard that right, pinpointed a magic window. The sweet spot is between 6 and 8 hours a night. And this isn't just about waking up feeling refreshed. This is the optimal amount of sleep for keeping your blood sugar in check.
But why? How does being asleep actually affect your blood sugar? What's the secret sauce here? Well, let's pull back the curtain and look at the fascinating science going on inside your body while you're catching some Z's.
Okay, the key to all of this has a fancy name, chronobiology. Sounds complicated, I know, but the basic idea is really simple. Your body runs on an internal 24-hour clock. You've probably heard of it as your circadian rhythm. This clock doesn't just make you yawn at night, it's the master conductor for your hormones and your metabolism. And when your sleep schedule is in harmony with that clock, boom, everything just works so much better. So benefit number one, and this is a big one, good sleep actually makes your body's own insulin work better. I love this analogy. Think of insulin as the key that unlocks your cells to let sugar in for energy. Well, when you don't get enough sleep, it's like that lock gets all rusty. Your cells become resistant and sugar gets stuck in your bloodstream. A good night's sleep is like the WD-40 that cleans off that rust, making you more sensitive to your own insulin.
You know that feeling after a terrible night's sleep when all you want is a donut or a bag of chips? Turns out that's not you having zero willpower. It's your hormones going haywire. Not getting enough sleep completely messes with your hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin. Good sleep puts them back in their place, which helps you control your appetite and makes managing your weight, a huge deal for type 2 diabetes, way easier.
And then there's the infamous stress hormone cortisol. One of its main gigs is to flood your bloodstream with sugar to give you a burst of energy for that fight or flight thing. The problem is, bad sleep makes cortisol go rogue, spiking at all the wrong times, like in the middle of the night. And what does that do? It directly raises your blood sugar. Quality sleep is what keeps that powerful hormone on a leash.
Okay, so we've talked about all the amazing things that happen when you get enough sleep. But what about when you don't? What happens when we constantly miss that 6 to 8 hour target? Well, the fallout is real and it happens faster than you might think.
I mean, look at this. The data doesn't lie. It's a really clear-cut relationship. The less sleep you get, especially under 6 hours, the higher your risk for things like poor blood sugar control and even heart issues. Seriously, just staying in that optimal zone is one of the single best things you can do to protect your health.
And we're not just talking about problems down the road, 10 or 20 years from now. The effect is almost immediate. This quote from a research study says it all. In just a matter of days of bad sleep, scientists can literally measure that your body is getting worse at handling sugar. That's a direct, fast-acting cause and effect link. It's pretty sobering.
And here's where it gets really tricky. This whole thing can turn into a nasty, vicious cycle. It goes like this. Poor sleep makes your blood sugar go up. But then high blood sugar can wreck your sleep. Think about having to get up multiple times a night. So bad sleep causes high sugar, which causes more bad sleep. See the problem? It's a loop that can be really tough to escape, which is why we have to be proactive.
All right, so we've laid out the science, we've talked about the risks, and it might sound a little scary. But here's the best part.
You are absolutely in the driver's seat on this one. You have so much power to change it. So let's pivot from the problem to the solution. Here's a super practical 5-step plan you can start using tonight.
So here's the game plan in a nutshell. We're talking a consistent bedtime, timing your dinner right, turning your bedroom into a sanctuary, chilling out your mind before bed, and, the big one, ditching the screens. Ready? Let's dive into each one.
Okay, step 1, consistency is king. Your internal body clock, that circadian rhythm we talked about, it loves a routine, it craves it. So going to bed and waking up around the same time every single day, yep, even on weekends, is huge. It helps lock in that rhythm. And research suggests that the sweet spot for hitting the hay is somewhere between 10 p.m. and midnight.
Step 2 is all about your dinner timing. Think about it. When you go to bed with a super full stomach, your body has to multitask. It's trying to digest a big meal and get you to sleep. It just doesn't work well. You want to give yourself a buffer, at least 2 hours between your last bite and bedtime. This lets your body handle the digestion part first so it can fully focus on rest.
All right, step 3, your bedroom needs to become a sleep sanctuary. I mean it. Its job is sleep, and that's it. That means you want it to be as quiet, dark, and cool as you can possibly get it. The cave analogy is perfect. Your brain needs those primitive cues to know, okay, it's time to power down.
Step 4. We gotta talk about what you're feeding your brain before bed. If you're watching a super intense action movie or scrolling through stressful news right before you try to sleep, you're basically telling your brain to be on high alert. That's the total opposite of what you want. So for that last hour before bed, switch to something chill. A light book, some calm music, whatever helps you unwind.
And finally, step 5, the one we all struggle with, the screens. You have to put them away. Here's why. The blue light blasting out of your phone and your tablet, it's a direct enemy of your sleep hormone, melatonin. Melatonin is what tells your brain, hey, it's dark out, time for sleep. But that blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's still the middle of the day. It's basically a stop sign for sleep.
Okay, so let's wrap this up with a quick and dirty checklist. Your mission? Aim for that 7 to 9 hour window. Lock in a consistent bedtime. Say no to big late dinners. And hey, a short 10 or 20-minute walk after your meal can work wonders. And of course, reduce the screens, the caffeine, and the alcohol in the evening. That's it. That's your playbook.
So I want to leave you with this one last thought. We put everything in our calendars, right? Work meetings, doctor's appointments, gym sessions. We treat them like they're unbreakable commitments. But after everything we've just talked about, maybe it's time we start thinking differently. What if your bedtime wasn't just the end of the day, but the most important, non-negotiable appointment you have?